Good morning, everybody. So now that we're done our Ina Garten series and trying those kinds of recipes, I wanted to try something I've never done before. So today I am going to try making bagels for the first time. So I hope you join me. Hello guys. So the bagel recipe I'm making today makes 12 bagels, but since I'm going to learn this, and it does look like a fairly simple process, so I'm not too worried about it. But I want to make two different kinds. So I'm going to make plain bagels and I'm going to make cinnamon bagels. My kids like eating cinnamon bagels with peanut butter. So I opened a new package of yeast for this. The yeast I have out has been out for a while and I want to use fresh yeast and make sure this turns out really well. So I usually buy it in a big vacuum sealed pack like this. And then I'll put it into little baggies and then I'll vacuum seal little amounts and put them in my freezer. Okay, so let's start with the water. So we need 2 cups of warm water, no hotter than 110 degrees. So I have 4 here, so I'm going to split it into 2 bowls here. See what I'm doing here. A little bit more. Okay, and then we'll put the other 2 in the other bowl. I figure we should start both at the same time here. So we need 2 1/4 teaspoons of dry active yeast. Yes, teaspoons. So 1, 2. This is equal to one of those packets you can buy. So I'm going to put the 1/4 in right away. Where am I here? 1 teaspoon and 2 1/4. Okay. And then I'm also going to add the salt. Need 1 tablespoon of salt. That's quite a bit actually. One tablespoon. Seems like a lot of salt. And 2 tablespoons of sugar. 1, 2. And then I'm going to mix this up with the whisk here. And then we'll let them activate. And then we'll move on to the next steps here. So I like to use a whisk to make sure everything gets mixed up nicely. I find it activates the yeast the best, no matter what kind of bread I'm making. I am going to make this recipe in my mixer. So we're going to make the plain bagels first, and then I'll dump this into the bowl and we'll make the cinnamon bagels. The dough for each one. Okay. So I'm going to let this sit here and activate for about 10 minutes. And once this is activated, I'll come back and we'll finish the next step. Okay, so it looks like the yeast is pretty activated. So let's put the ingredients in. Okay, so I divided all the yeast into baggies and later I'm going to vacuum seal these. I put some in my jar. I try not to keep more than this at once, just so it doesn't go stale and not work as good. Okay, so for this one, we need about a tablespoon of oil. Put a tablespoon in the other one as well since I'm doing it. And then we need 6 cups of flour. So let's start with maybe 2 cups. Work it in and we'll slowly add the rest. I've been looking forward to doing this video for you guys. This is something I've wanted to learn how to make for a really long time, so we're doing it. Slowly getting there. I'm going to increase the speed here in a sec. Yeah, let's add another 2. It says that the dough should be fairly stiff, and we're going to have to knead it later after this for a little bit. So that's 4 cups. I'm just going to scrape the flour that's on the sides here so it incorporates better. There we go. Okay, so that was 4 cups. Let's add 1 at a time now. So this is 5. I don't want to add it too quickly, especially since it's starting to turn into dough now. It's going everywhere. Okay, let's reposition this. Sometimes I like to reposition it so it mixes better. Especially with the flour being on the bottom like this. I like to reposition it so it gets everything. Okay. Do some more. Check the texture of this because it does feel like it's getting close, and we've only stuck 5 cups in rather than 6. I'm going to read the recipe here and see if if we can use less. I think we might need to use more. We'll see. I'm going to finish mixing the stuff on the bottom here, and then we'll decide if we need to add more. Picking up all the stuff on the bottom here. I think this might actually be really close because this isn't very sticky. Let me try and get this out. It's not overly sticky. I'm going to try and knead it a little bit more and see with the texture because there's some flour here that hasn't been completely mixed in yet. Okay, I think this is good. I don't want to put too much flour in it. This is a very stiff dough. Okay, so it says to knead this for 15 minutes. So I'm going to knead it with the mixer here. We're going to knead it for 15 minutes and then I'll show you what it looks like. Okay guys, so this has been mixing for a really long time. I think it's almost the exact perfect texture. It's really nice, firm, but not too firm. It's nice and soft and pliable. And that's what the recipe says it needs to be. So I'm going to pour some olive oil in this bowl here since we need to reuse the mixer. Just going to pour a little bit in. I'm just going to use my hands. I was trying to avoid dirtying my hand, but we're going to dirty it. Okay. Just want to get a little bit on the top so it doesn't develop a crust or anything. Okay. See if I can do this without dirtying everything. Actually, I'll just wipe my hand first. And then we're going to get a new cloth. A new one, and I'm going to cover it and put it on my stove here. Okay, so for the second one, I'm just going to pour it right in the bowl. We already added the oil to this one. And I'm going to add a tablespoon of cinnamon to it. To make them nice cinnamony. my cinnamon bagels. Now I'm going to slowly add the flour and do the exact same process. So once the whole process is done, I'll show you what the finished cinnamon dough looks like. I don't want to have to show you guys all of this. You might get bored with that. So I'm going to mix this up and then I'll show you guys the finished result. Okay, I just wanted to give you guys a little look. I just finished getting it all mixed together. Now I'm going to knead it for the 15 minutes. Once it's done kneading for the 15 minutes, I'll show you what the dough looks like before I start to raise it. Okay, so the cinnamon dough is done kneading. I think that looks nice. It's not so stiff anymore. So now I am going to just put some olive oil in the bottom of the bowl and cover it with a clean cloth. And then I'm going to raise both doughs for about an hour to an hour and a half until they're doubled in size. And then we'll do the next step together. Okay guys, so it has been about an hour and 10 minutes. These look really awesome. Look, they've more than doubled. Okay, so let's form the balls for the bagels. Okay, so I set out a baking sheet with parchment paper on it. Just going to set it off to the side here. So our bagel dough here, this is the plain one. It's like really nice. It looks really good. Okay, so we're going to cut this into 12 pieces. Let's see how I want to do this here. Let's cut it in half. And then we'll cut each half into 6. Three, 4, 5, 6. I'm just trying to make sure they're fairly even in size here. Okay, so now we just need to roll them into a ball. So I'm probably going to do it like I do with my regular, like if I'm making buns. Sometimes I roll it like this, but mostly I roll it in like this. But we're going to do it like the recipe says. So I'm just doing this motion here. Okay, and then we need to put them on the sheet here to rest for another, I think it said 10 minutes. So we're going to roll all of these and then we'll cover it and rest them. Oh, this one's being a little stubborn. Let me just try and get into a ball more here. There we go. There we go. So we have to do this for all 12 pieces, and then we also have to do it for the cinnamon ones. So I'm going to roll all of these into balls. I think I'm probably going to do it off camera so you guys don't have to watch me do 24 of these, right? But this is all I'm doing. I'm doing it just like this, turning it into a ball. This one has a little bit on the bottom here. It's like just where the dough is meeting. I want to make sure it's a little bit more smooth than that. Oh, there we go. That's perfect. Okay, so I'm going to finish the rest of these, and then I'm going to do some more of the cinnamon ones, and then I will come back and show you. We need to put a towel over them and let them rest. I have finally finished rolling all the balls. I tried to get them as uniform as possible. There's a few that are smaller, but that's okay. So now I'm going to cover these with towels, and we're going to let them rest for about 10 to 15 minutes, and then we're going to form them and boil them. Okay, so I have a pot of water on, and it has about a tablespoon of sugar in it. That's what it says to do in the recipe. So now we're just going to take one of these balls, and I'm going to have to put my thumb through the middle. This is what it says in the recipe. Separate it so that there's a hole. And you want the wall of the hole to be at least 1 inch high, it says. So something like that. And then put it directly into the water. And you want to cook it on each side for about a minute, it says. So we're going to do that to a couple more here. It says to fit 3 or 4 in the pot at once, probably 3. Like that. I have my oven preheated to 425, and I've prepared an egg wash on the side here. I don't know if you can see that. So something like that. I think I have enough room for one more. We'll put one more in. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to let these boil for about a minute, and then I'm going to flip them and we'll boil them on the other side. Give you a look at what they look like while they're boiling. They puffed right up in the middle. They look good. They're starting to look like bagels. Okay, so I think it's time to flip them. Hopefully it's been long enough. Ooh. There we go. Ooh. Trying not to splash myself. There we go. Okay, and then we cook it on the other side for another minute. In the meantime, I'm just putting the holes into the other balls here for the centers of the bagels for the next batch here. Okay, I think this side is done. So now what we're supposed to do is take them out and put them on back on the parchment paper. They look really good. I'm kind of excited. Okay. They puffed right up. Looks good. Okay, and then I'm just going to put the next batch in. And we're going to repeat the process until they're all done. I think some of these smaller ones I should be able to fit 5 in. Hopefully. That might be too many. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to finish boiling these, and I'm going to put the holes in the centers of the cinnamon ones, and then when we're ready to do the baking process, I will show you that part. I finished boiling all 24 of them, so I have egg wash here. It's just egg and water, and I'm going to brush them with it. Like I said before, that my oven is preheated to 425. It says in the recipe to bake these until they're golden brown. It says it should take 15 to 20 minutes. I'm going to keep a close eye on them because I'm not used to my oven and I don't want them to burn. And I have a feeling this is going to golden up pretty quickly. So we're just going to give a quick egg wash to the top so they brown nicely. And then we're going to bake them. And then we'll do a taste test too. I'm super excited to taste them. Hopefully they're nice and, I like a nice chewy bagel. So we'll see. A few of them are a little small, but that's okay. They did deflate a little bit. So that. So I'm going to have to bake each one separately, each tray, just because I don't want there to be inconsistency with the baking by putting them on 2 different levels in the oven. So let's finish getting the egg wash on this one, and then I'm going to put it in the oven. So I'm going to put this one in the oven, and then I'm going to put the egg wash on the cinnamon bagels, and once they come out of the oven, I will show you what they look like. Okay guys, they're out of the oven. I baked them probably for about 20 to 25 minutes. They smell heavenly. Okay, so let's cut into, I think I'm going to cut into one of the regular ones. So let's try one of those and taste them. I think I'm going to try this small one right here. They're still a little bit warm. So I'm going to try and cut this without burning myself. Ooh, that's hot. Oh, I hear the crunch. Normally I toast my bagels, but just for the sake of tasting, I'm not going to toast it. So I like strawberry cream cheese. Strawberry cream cheese on a blueberry bagel is delicious. But I think it'll taste great on a plain bagel too. This smells so good. I was hoping they were cooked in the middle. It looks like they are. They do get boiled and baked, so I figured they were probably cooked. Okay, let's give these a taste. I'm so excited. Okay. I love bagels. Okay, let's taste them. They smell good. Mmm. Those are good. I'm not sure if it's because it's still warm, but it has a nice chewy texture. I'm not sure if you can see, but you see the airiness in it, the bubbles. It's got it's not too dense. I'm curious to see how they would be once you cut into them once they're cooled, but I think I'm going to make my own bagels from now on. These are really good. Those are delicious. I just finished filming the taste test and 2 of them already got stolen. I just thought that was interesting, funny. So everyone, this is where I'm going to end the video for today. I would love it if you guys would like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.